what are the biggest challenges that you're facing in your current go-to-market strategies. And the top one is what? The competitors, competition. I want to first take a step back and start thinking about go-to-market in general. And I started doing some research. And I came across this research piece from Gartner, which is a well-known analyst firm, especially in the B2B tech space. And they were asking people, what are the factors that influence your organization decision to adopt this current go-to-market strategy? And you can see here the options, and nothing too surprising, right? Like the top one and the couple ones are my product features and benefits, right? What I have to sell determines how I'm going to go to market, and where my customers are also industry dynamics, and also determine that. And then you go all the way down to the bottom to competitor strategies, of course, unless you're working in a monopoly, right? What your competitors do have to influence how you see things and how you go to market. What I thought was also interesting is the follow-up question in the same survey, asking what are the biggest challenges that you're facing in your current go-to-market strategies. And the top one is what? The competitors, competition. So it's kind of interesting. It made me think a little bit about this. Like, I may not have as competition the top thing driving the go-to-market, but it's the biggest challenge that I have, right? And how do we go from competition and competitor analysis being one of the things that someone does there to, hey, we got to really pay attention to this, and we have to embed this in how we do and how we plan things? Well, and why is this happening? So competitive intelligence, in my view, is a core pillar that supports all of the different go-to-market activities and work streams. It doesn't always get the love it deserves. And it might be true for your own companies, right? I've worked at organizations where we have someone typically in product marketing, or you might have a separate department. They're way out there. Their job is to do CI. And once in a while, there's a battle card that comes up, right? Or once in a while, there's a new competitor move, and hey, here you go. And salespeople are always using not the latest version, but like some outdated version. They have their own biases because they've come from the industry and everything. So how do we start like changing a little bit the way you're thinking about it? You may recognize this, especially if you are a product marketing and if you know the sister organization, the Product Marketing Alliance here, and they have this product marketing framework, which I think is interesting because it encompasses a lot of the stuff that your product marketing team does. And way down there, like, is competitor intel. So again, it's one of those things where we typically see as an outside thing that is in the fringes. I have a different view, and I think it's time for us to start shifting the way we're thinking about CI. So everything that we do typically starts with messaging and positioning. So we see messaging and positioning, two sides of the same coin, and as the center of what we do. Everything else, the deliverables that we have, come from that core aspect. Now, I think that CI also deserves to be in the middle, because a lot of your messaging and position needs to be based on not what you think, but also what's happening around you, right? After all, the positioning is about understanding how do you find that specific market opportunity for your product, your services, and your go-to-market strategy, all of the other activities that are going to drive success. And it's almost like trying to find that very narrow spot based on what is happening in the market, what customers want, what they need, and what is that like white space opportunity that you can narrow down your focus and all your energies across all of your teams to go and win the market. Now, we also think typically about competitive intelligence based on the traditional deliverables, right, that we see coming out of it. Battle cards that the sales teams are going to use. Objection handling also for sales SDR teams. Competitive win stories that people can use and we can use on the website. And win-loss analysis. And you can probably come up with like a dozen others that I'm not listing here. But this is what we see typically. And behind all of this and all of those deliverables, there's a lot of activities that come into play. reviewing competitor messaging. How are they saying things? Analyzing their products, going to their website, signing up, or asking for someone to go and sign up. Some companies might do mystery shopping, right? If you go to a store or even on the websites. And researching what does all of that means in terms of strengths and weaknesses, and interviewing sales reps and other people and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't see behind the scenes to come up with those narrowly defined deliverables. But I think the scope is much bigger. And of course, this is the first pass at looking at it, at how people see CI, but it really impacts more than just what we're delivering. If we extend the scope, which I think it happens, it can also impact campaigns. Your marketing campaigns, your messaging. You can't message in isolation. So an email goes out, you don't want to sound just like the competitor. You don't want to have your online ads look and sound just like the competition. So you got to understand what they're doing. And beyond campaigns, if we go a step further, there are other areas. As a good example also is analyst relations. So if you have a team, or if you or yourself are engaged in analyst relations, you can't just approach the relationship with the analyst without knowing how the competition is doing the same. How are they presenting themselves? How the analysts see them is also going to influence how you talk to them, how you demo your product, how you brief the analysts. So looking at this, and you can add now more and more stuff around the impact that competitive intelligence has, the scope really is much, much bigger than we give credit for.